It's a strange thing to look at a country through its headlines. You get these fragmented snapshots that feel completely disconnected. One minute you're reading about a supposed conservationist, the former owner of the world's largest rhino farm, being charged in a multi-million-dollar horn smuggling ring. And the next, you're reading about a national sports team's devastating loss. It can feel like a random collection of stories. But sometimes if you look closely, those fragments start to form a mosaic. And today, looking at South Africa, that mosaic reveals a nation wrestling with itself in the most profound ways. We have to start with the story of John Hume. He's 83 years old, and for years he was known for running the world's largest rhino farm, a project he framed as a conservation effort. Now, he stands accused at the center of a staggering $14.1 million international rhino horn smuggling ring. The allegations are that he exploited legal domestic permits to traffic these horns into the lucrative black markets of Southeast Asia. We're talking charges of racketeering, money laundering, and wildlife trafficking. At the same time, in the coastal town of Port Alfred, a cultural battle is raging. There's a proposal to rename the town Aikawa to honor indigenous heritage, but a massive 94% of residents are against it, citing the $157 million cost and the potential damage to its tourism brand. And to top it off, the national cricket team, the Proteas, just suffered their worst ever one-day international defeat, losing by 276 runs to Australia, which has thrown the country's sports world into a spiral of questions about tactics and performance under pressure. So, on the surface, you've got a wildlife crime, a town dispute, and a bad day for cricket. What could they possibly have in common? Well, they each paint a picture of a nation confronting its past, its present, and its future all at once. The John Hume case, for example, shines a harsh light on this constant tension between economic opportunity and environmental conservation, a tension made worse by what appears to be serious weaknesses in the legal framework. The Port Alfred renaming saga, that's the ongoing, often messy process of decolonization playing out in real time. It's where symbolic gestures, which are important, clash head-on with very practical, real-world concerns from the people who live there. And the Proteas' collapse, it's more than just a loss in a game. For many, it feels like a blow to national pride, a public reminder of the constant, brutal need to adapt and be resilient in a competitive world. But it's the John Hume trial that might have the most significant, long-lasting implications. I mean, if convictions are secured here, it could set a critical legal precedent in the global fight against wildlife trafficking. It could change international policy. On the other hand, if the case falls apart, it could expose just how vulnerable South Africa's wildlife protection laws really are. It would send a signal to criminal syndicates everywhere that the risks of operating in the country are manageable. And when you remember that South Africa is home to 80% of the world's remaining rhinos, you realize this trial isn't just about one man. It's a crucible for the future of conservation itself. Yet amidst these struggles, South Africa also showcases a remarkable capacity for triumph and adaptation, signaling a completely different facet of its national character. For every story of struggle, there seems to be a counterpoint of success. Take the Springboks, the national rugby team. Their captain, Siya Kolisi, has just made a crucial recovery from a serious injury. He's been cleared to lead his team against the All Blacks, a series that carries immense historical weight, especially considering South Africa hasn't beaten New Zealand at their legendary Eden Park Stadium in 88 years. Then you have this incredible feat of individual athletics. An ultra-runner named Sibusiso Kubheka just did something once considered physiologically impossible. He ran 100 kilometers in under 6 hours. His official time was 5 hours, 59 minutes, and 20 seconds. It's a stunning achievement that elevates the country's reputation in global athletics. And on the economic front, a new report from Career Junction highlights the rise of these resilient, future-proof job sectors. There's huge demand for roles in renewable energy, in cybersecurity, in data analysis, all driven by the digital economy and shifts that happen post-pandemic. And finally, in a move of proactive governance, the Environment Minister signed crucial new regulations for offshore ship-to-ship fuel transfers, a measure designed to protect the country's 3 zero-kilometer coastline from environmental risks. What all these developments really highlight is South Africa's dynamism. Kolisi's return isn't just about sport, it symbolizes resilience and leadership, things that are vital for national morale. Kupeca's record-breaking run isn't just about one athlete. It's about individual excellence, pushing the known boundaries of human potential. The growth in these future-focused jobs isn't just a dry economic statistic, it's a sign of a strategic shift towards a more diversified, knowledge-based economy. It offers real hope and opportunity in a country that still faces high unemployment. And those new marine protection rules, they show a government that's trying to be proactive to balance trade with the crucial stewardship of its natural assets. These successes and adaptations are part of an even broader narrative, one of profound societal shifts that are redefining the very fabric of South African life and its future trajectory. This is where things get really interesting. South Africa is undergoing some fundamental transformations. A new report, for instance, shows a significant decline in fertility rates, which have now dropped to 2.1 births per woman. That's essentially on par with European levels. This is being driven by the rising cost of raising children, increased access to education, and more women participating in the workforce, all leading people to delay or even decide against having children. At the very same time, the digital economy is absolutely booming. A European live content studio called 155.io is launching in Africa through a partnership with one of the continent's biggest betting operators. They're bringing 24/7 real-world gaming feeds, all optimized for mobile-first users, to a market that's already growing at 15% a year. And amidst all this change, there's this hint of a return to the past. Cricket legend A.B. de Villiers, a national icon, is rumored to be returning to the Indian Premier League, possibly in a mentorship role. The mere possibility has ignited fan excitement and boosted morale in the cricket world. The declining fertility rate is a profound demographic shift. It signals a move towards a more developed world population profile, and that has massive long-term implications for the labor force and the economic burden on future generations. The explosion in mobile-first gaming, while it offers economic opportunity, is a double-edged sword. It also brings with it very real concerns about a rise in gambling addiction. And A.B. de Villiers' potential return, even if he's not playing, speaks to the power of legacy and mentorship. It offers a sense of stability and inspiration in a landscape that is changing so rapidly. But let's go back to those fertility rates for a moment, because while they reflect positive things like female empowerment and education, they also pose huge long-term challenges. As the population ages, South Africa is going to face increased pressure on its social security systems, on its healthcare, and it could face a shrinking productive workforce. This kind of demographic shift could lead to what economists call a demographic dividend if that smaller, younger generation is highly skilled and employed, but it could also just make economic strain worse if job creation doesn't keep up. It forces a total reevaluation of national planning, from infrastructure all the way to social welfare. From the deep currents of societal change to the very headlines that capture our attention, what overarching insights can we draw from this snapshot of a nation? When you step back and look at all these threads together, it becomes clear that South Africa is a nation of profound contrasts. It's simultaneously battling these deep-rooted issues like corruption and environmental threats, while also showcasing remarkable resilience, innovation, and global sporting excellence. You can also see that the ongoing process of decolonization and forging a new national identity is incredibly complex, and it requires this delicate balance between honoring heritage and dealing with the practical concerns of today. And underneath all of this, powerful demographic shifts and the rapid adoption of digital technology are fundamentally reshaping the society, presenting both huge opportunities for growth and brand new challenges for social welfare and regulation. In the end, the nation's future seems to hinge on its ability to leverage its strengths, to proactively manage its incredible assets, and to strategically adapt to this constantly evolving global landscape. This hour's news from South Africa reveals a country in a dynamic state of becoming. It's a land where the echoes of the past still contend with the urgent demands of the present, where individual brilliance and collective struggle exist side by side. To understand South Africa is to embrace this inherent complexity, not as a paradox, but as the very essence of a nation continually redefining itself on the global stage, navigating its unique path between tradition and progress, challenge and triumph.